I think we'll do a couple extra holiday weekend shop till you drop, get in maximum debt holiday videos. We'll do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Today we'll do a radio test and we'll cover this little SDR radio I bought. Tomorrow will be a Olympic TV, and Sunday, I don't know, something to annoy you with. Going back to last week's video, I cheated a little bit and I tested number 2, which seemed to be fairly popular, the Soviet radios. There were 2 of these. One of them worked, one did not. This is one of the best performing radios I think I've seen, besides, well, you'll see coming up. But we'll fix the other one in a following video sometime in the future. This is a SDR radio that I purchased, very well built, from China, not cheap, about $250 for the legit version. Of course, there's counterfeit, and we'll talk about this a little bit. So it's got the speakers built in, it's got the display, it's got a headphone jack right here, which in FM stereo, this is actually a nice, awesome sounding stereo output, full stereo output into headphones. It's USB-C rechargeable, software updatable. It's got a power lockout switch here. Up here, what is this? SMA female for external antenna. This really needs an external antenna. Here's your volume, here's your kind of scroll select, and here's your power button. Of course, the reflection's horrible. I'll just go through this real quick because this is kind of a really cool radio. So right here you see that's KNX 1070. So we can scroll.
Now the big question is whether shoppers will get the great deals they're used to, considering all the supply chain issues. Live at the Citadel, John Baird, KNX 1070 News Radio.
The power slowly getting turned back on for some SoCal Edison customers.
This really needs a ground. You can see just when I touch it, you can see how much more, but you can go in here to, let's see, hardware. And you have a lot of settings here. And there is a preamp right here. We can turn that on. You can see how much more gain that gives us. You can see all your stations.
Involving 2 cars. One of the vehicles was fully engulfed with the driver trapped inside.
And the frequency coverage on this, I believe, is 50 kilohertz to 2 gigahertz continuous. And you can literally just punch in a frequency you want, like let's just say 5 megahertz. Let's see if there's, just like a signal generator, you just punch it in, hit kilohertz. We could have, well, look, you can do hertz, kilohertz. So that should be WW if it's coming in. Okay, so let's try 10. We'll just try 10 megahertz.
For more information, visit 105.org/www.
So there's WW. That's kind of cool. You can push this, you can change your step. There's really too much to cover here. So we could do 1, megahertz. And then we have to change our mode. So you have CW, DSB, you have a bunch of different AM detectors, upper sideband, lower sideband, AM, narrow FM, wide FM. So we got to go to wide FM. I have the step. I have the step way too small for. Basically, there's just too much to cover in this video, and let me do this. Let me shut it down. I'm gonna start it up. So there's a ton of stuff you can do with this, and the sensitivity and performance on this little thing is pretty damn good with an antenna. It really needs a ground wire hanging off of it and a better antenna. But, you know, I'd like to compare this to one of those Reticus or Retkis or whatever those cheesy receivers that the Chinese company's always trying to send me to review. Maybe I should accept one of those and do a review on it, compare it to this. But like I say, about $250. It kind of does everything. This is a rural radio test, performance test. I do these every once in a while, and yeah, the lighting is all bad. And I have a few radios here. And I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I know you can't see anything, but we'll get some of this when the sun goes down. I'm going to start with this. This is a new toy. This is a software-defined radio, and I had to funnel some money back into China in order to buy this. I actually found out about this from a friend in Saudi Arabia who is a transistor radio collector. And he had purchased one of these, and he's been having too much fun with it, and I just couldn't let that happen. So I'll show you this more when it gets dark, but basically it's like a computer. I think it goes 50 kilohertz to 2 gigahertz. And of course, with this antenna, it works better on higher frequencies. And this is the Sony we repaired. Here's a couple Russian Sokols. Here's a Zenith 810. And here's another Russian radio. And I will tell you, without even showing you, that the Sony is number 1. This Russian one is number 2. This Sokol is number 3. This one is number 4. This is number 5. And the SDR radio is number 6. But there's a lot to learn with the SDR radio. There's a ton of filters, a ton of adjustments for gain. It's a touch screen like a full computer. And like I say, it goes 50 kilohertz to 2 gigahertz. And it shows the waterfall and everything. I know they make dongles for PC. And this thing would probably work pretty kick-ass if I had a long wire antenna. In fact, I think I do. I might dig it out right now. But real quick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you one at a time how they perform. So
Every year in the U.S., Today marks the start of the holiday travel crush. We were talking this morning about how busy LAX was. It comes as airlines are dramatically cutting.
That's the Sony, and you can hear it is so sensitive it's overloading. Of course, I'm a little bit late. The sun is going down. We should do this again tomorrow. Here's this so-called. Here's this one, the black one. And this is KNX. I'm about 250 miles from LA. And what I should have done is I should have demonstrated this little white one, because this one is super, super sensitive. In fact, this white one and the Sony will pick up KNX midday. This one is IC based with a FET front end, FET front end. Here's this one. The Zenith 810 is a city radio. It's not intended for DXing or rural use. You look at the specs on it in the Zenith manual, the sensitivity is not very good. Okay, I put a piece of wire on it's going up to this building here on the SDR receiver, and it's
north of Disneyland Drive. We've got a stall car reported here. Out of the lane, it looks like it's right shoulder of the roadway. Then in Costa Mesa on the 55 northbound, right at the 405, CFC was going to run a break there to clear a stalled car. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 50-minute drive-through oil change. If you're traveling by car this holiday season, don't be a turkey. Get your car serviced before you hit the...
That actually works pretty well with that long antenna on it. That's the problem, is the SDR radio doesn't have an antenna that's tuned for specifically the medium wave band. Forgot I had this ITC 15 transistor radio, and I don't know if this thing is just junk or got open capacitors in it, but all the way up you can barely hear anything. I mean, where these other ones just go.
Wearing a suit and his signature aviator sunglasses, the president emerged from the Walter Reed Medical Center, gave reporters 2 thumbs up, and said he was feeling great.
See the jury find the defendant, Kyle Butchford, not guilty. Not guilty on all counts in the Kenosha shootings of 3 men, 2 fatally during protests in the summer of 2020. Rittenhouse fell forward toward the defense table and then hugged one of his lawyers before being rushed out a back door. CBS News legal contributor Rebecca Royce.
Here, I think the defense had a better case based on the specific facts that were surrounding this event.
President Biden says the jury system works and we have to abide by it. Lead defense attorney Mark Richards says his client is relieved.
And prosecutors say they're disappointed but respect the jury's verdict. I'm Jennifer Kuiper in Kenosha. Now with more CBS News, here's Peter King.
The FDA and the CDC.
That's a trip you get in Echo, because there's a delay with the SDR because of all the processing. This is straight up analog. That's digital.
Cases are surging. Thanksgiving is less than a week away. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Dave Davis says timing is perfect.
I know there's reticence for a third shot. Many people say, well, it means that the vaccine wasn't as good as we thought it was.
Hear the echo? Wow, I think it could use a ground.
He looked into the cause of Mr. Biden's more frequent and more pronounced coughing and throat clearing. Dr. O'Connor blames it on acid reflux. A stiffer gait, wear and tear on Mr. Biden's spine.
I tell you, this thing works a lot better, even with adding a ground wire. I just laid this wire here. That really improves it too. Look at all the signals there.
With the 91 Anaheim Hills, Southern California Toyota dealers Jam Cam.
It's up right here, 91 eastbound. Starting
Of course, I'm on KNX right there.
And that flows all the way out past the 241.
You can see all the signals. There's a big fat one down here. Let's see if we can go down to that one. You know what? I need to change the
value of him as a pitcher, and not just a good pitcher this year.
No.
Very good pitcher, 9-2.
You do is you do this. We'll drop it down to going the wrong way. I want to bring this big fat one down here.
And with the holidays right around the corner, the Godfather offers full catering and banquet
1090 is that big hot one.
Family celebration. The Balistreri family invites you to celebrate the Italian tradition.
Sorry, this is shaky.
Fine wine and full bar, all in a candlelit setting. Award-winning dining for any occasion. Leave
Higher prices and
That's just the day and age of Facebook.
yeah, if I would be one of their customers, I would probably jump in the ocean and get my windows from the ship myself.
Right now, if you buy their Gold Series, they'll upgrade you to the Platinum Series at no additional charge. That's an $1,800 value. But please...
So this green down here is called a waterfall. So that's basically the modulated streams. So you can see what you got here.
That's 800-843. Dual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas.
If you are a small business owner, do you know if you're overpaying for workers' comp insurance?
By the way, this decodes FM stereo on the headphone output, and it sounds good.
And we could save you up to 30% at trypi.com.
I don't believe there's any FM stations out here. We could 50 kilohertz, huh? Oh, there's something.
Charlie Puth, Gina Cavalli, what? So our viral video for the day actually comes out of Atlanta, Georgia. Did you see that crazy car fire on the police dash cam video of where they pulled that person out? You know, we were just talking about feel-good stories, being in the right place at the right time. That Maryland rescue and search team saw that guy just plummet into the river, and they happened to be there shooting a training video, so they
time when Dr. Graham brings up God can use adversity in your life. That's next time on PowerPoint with Jack Graham.
PowerPoint with Jack Graham.
Wow, see, it's getting FM stereo there. Wow, this thing is sensitive. And it's continuous. It'll just keep going. It'll just keep going forever. Maybe we should try this one on FM. Okay, I got this on FM.
They will have to, see someone who doesn't look like a white man be in front of everything else.
Yeah, you can't touch this Sony. Yeah, you...
I whispered underneath my breath.
Radio Network app today and take us every...
Yeah, this Sony, this thing's hot. I think this Sony is the hottest radio I've ever seen. I mean, it's ridiculous how sensitive that thing is.
It's remarkable that we found, for example, that a quarter of white evangelicals say that they think things have gotten so far off track that true American patriots may have to resort to violence in order to save the country. That's a quarter of people who, you read your Bible, Jesus talks about turning the other cheek. A quarter of that group is saying we would be willing to harm and kill our fellow citizens to achieve an end, right? And the means become not that important. And this idea that America, this kind of white Christian America's been granted a special role in human history, actually turbocharges that belief. And among those who believe that God has granted America a special role in human history.
A lot of it is, I love the processing delay, that gives that echo, but a lot of it is antenna. But the SDR radio is cool. I will say that. It is cool.
Modern Command defends America's homeland, protecting our people, national power, and freedom of action. We have to watch.
The WWDH audio signal is available.
This radio, this Sony, is so hot, it will get KNX out here full smack, well, really clear, midday.